Well, well, well. We're watching Dak Prescott on the field, and we've been watching Dak Prescott off the field. And he is showing that he is a leader in every sense of the word. And Dak Prescott, of course, coming off the hamstring surgery that he has. And the Cowboys went and picked up Joe Milton III, and we had people out there talking about he's taking Dak Prescott's spot. Let's kind of pump the brakes on that, because I don't think that's why they got Joe Milton in the first place. But speaking of Joe Milton, some of the rumors about New England is coming up again for some reason. And my question is, should the Dallas Cowboys be concerned about the attitude of Joe Milton III? Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, please don't forget at the end to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member, please do. We have a lot of great things coming in the future. Now let's talk facts. And let's talk about facts from this perspective. No matter what we say, there is something not quite right about the issue with Joe Milton III in New England. And people have to understand something. As much as people say stuff like, well, it was because they liked Drake May and blah, 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 let me tell you something. This league loves to win. And they are not going to let go of a quarterback, especially when you look at Joe Milton III. They're not going to let go of a quarterback if they think he is better than the starting quarterback. Because why would you do that? Why would you just not keep him? And then you could get, you could keep him another year and you could probably get some draft capital for him. But the New England Patriots were willing to cut bait or willing to cut ties with one Joe Milton III. And I'm not mad about it. I'm going to read to you what Heavy on the Boards are reporting, and this is being reported on various websites, and everybody's got their take on it. I'm going to read you what they have, and then I'm going to tell you what I had already said about this issue with Joe Milton III. But it says right here, it says a new report explains the New England Patriots' decision to trade quarterback Joe Milton to the Dallas Cowboys, pointing to doubts about his ability to mesh as a backup in the quarterback room. And keep this in your mind. It's going to make sense because I said this when I first reported on something similar to this a few weeks ago. It says right here, the Cowboys sent the Patriots a 2025 fifth-round pick in exchange for Milton, who was a sixth-round pick last year. It says right here, the Cowboys sent the Patriots a 2025 fifth-round pick in exchange for Milton, who was a sixth-round pick last year. Dallas also received a 2025 seventh-round pick, number 217, in the deal. The Cowboys needed a capable backup with Cooper Rush leaving in free agency for the Baltimore Ravens. Milton earned some praise for his lone start with the Patriots, passing for 241 yards and a touchdown. And I do not understand why people do not like the truth. There's someone who obviously misunderstood something that I said and said I was telling a lie on this. No, I was not telling a lie. He was playing the Buffalo Bills the last game of the season. They had backups in, especially on defense. 8 of their starters didn't start on defense and on offense. Josh Allen only played 1 snap. The Buffalo Bills used it as a bye week. And of course, the New England Patriots blew out the Buffalo Bills when everybody know that the New England Patriots were not good. But again, it is what it is. You can't control who you play, and Joe Milton III got the opportunity to play. And he played well against a majority of backups. He played well. And, you think about it, he only really started 1 year at Tennessee. And so I think people kind of overhyped. Some people overhyped Joe Milton III. But again, I watched Joe Milton III in the preseason last year. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And I thought that the New England Patriots should have been letting him, or should have kept him and let him compete with Drake May. But again, let me read this. It says, some assumed New England moved on from Milton to take pressure off starter Drake May. However, Greg Bedard said on the Greg Bedard Patriots podcast that Milton burned some bridges within the organization in New England. Why would this be happening? Why would he burn these bridges? Watch this. Joe Milton, and this is a direct quote from someone in the organization, is not a good dude, Bedard said on the Greg Bedard Patriots podcast. It says, knowing your role, playing your role, being a part of a harmonious quarterback room, that was going to be an issue. It wasn't about Drake May. It was just about the room. Now, I said this about Joe Milton III. We have to understand something about Joe Milton III. He played 6 years in college. He's an older quarterback. He's 25 years old. He's older than Drake May. So he's an older quarterback, bigger, faster, stronger, rocket for an arm, and more than likely thought he was better than Drake May. And I guarantee you, he's probably evaluating his own play, and he's saying, I think I can compete with him. I should be able to compete and beat him out. And Cam Newton said something on his show, Fourth and One, the Cam Newton 4th and 1 podcast. Cam Newton said something that I thought was really interesting. Cam Newton said that when you're at practice, he said players talk. And so if you're a quarterback, imagine you're Joe Milton III. And you're out there and you're scrambling, you're getting away from the defense, you're giving the defense all kinds of hell. I mean, you're throwing, maybe you're throwing dimes, or maybe in your mind you're throwing dimes, but for sure you're throwing with way more velocity than Drake May, and you are seeing where you think that you're better, and maybe some of the players even on the sideline are going, ooh, man, hey, Joe Milton III, man, this dude, they're looking at things that he's doing, and maybe he's listening to some people talk. And Joe Milton III is saying, man, I think I should be able to compete, and they should give me an opportunity to compete for the starting job. And not only that, Drake May is younger than him. He's thinking in his mind, well, what can I learn from Drake May when I think I'm better than Drake May? I guarantee you a lot of these things went through his mind because football is a very competitive sport. People talk, and you can also see stuff too, and you're like, wait, hold on a second. Now, the reason that I think they're bringing this up is, should the Cowboys be concerned? Because what if Joe Milton comes in practice here and he starts lighting it up? What if he starts hearing some of the talk that people do in Dallas quite a bit? Anytime you're in Dallas, the backup quarterback is better than the starter, or at least when you're Dak Prescott. I mean, Cooper Rush has been better than Dak Prescott. If you let the Dak Prescott haters tell it, he's been better than Dak Prescott since the day he hit since the second time he came back to the Cowboys. And as soon as Joe Milton, the Cowboys picked up Joe Milton, what was the first thing people said? He's going to take Dak Prescott's spot. So what happens when he hears that talk? What happens? Will he be able to be the locker room guy the Cowboys need him to be? Because maybe coming here, and this is something that they're talking about. See, Dak Prescott is a man's man. He's not worried about Joe Milton III. And in the grand scheme of things, Dak Prescott wants to be pushed by Joe Milton III. Because I believe Dak Prescott thrives on that stuff. But at the same time, Dak Prescott wants to help Joe Milton III. Just like he helped Trey Lance. And so while people be creating these quarterback controversies, there is no controversy when it comes to Dak Prescott. And even if he didn't have the contract, Dak Prescott feels like he's better than Joe Milton III. And I would agree, he's better than Joe Milton III. Just because a quarterback is bigger, faster, and stronger does not make them the best quarterback. We know this because there have been other quarterbacks like Joe Milton III who have had these physical attributes, and everybody's like they're going to be the best thing, the next best thing since sliced bread, and it doesn't pan out, nor does it turn out. We have so many of these quarterbacks. I mean, we just had one, Trey Lance. He has some of the same physical traits of Trey Lance, maybe a little bit more advanced, but that's still yet to be seen. But again, maybe being behind Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott being a seasoned veteran, being the quarterback that he's older, he can learn from. Dak is a pro's pro. Joe Milton III, maybe it won't be the same way. He'll see how Dak Prescott kind of conducts himself around the facility, and it won't be the same. And that's why it says here, if the report of Milton not being a good dude is true, perhaps a change of scenery and playing behind an accomplished veteran like Dak Prescott will help him. And so far, Milton has said all the right things. We're going to continue to see. It says, it's great. He's a great person. Milton told the Cowboys official site about Prescott. This is my second time meeting him, so just being around him, I feel the great energy that he brings and just willing and looking forward to learn from him and really compete. And I'm going to tell you something. People are saying some of the same things about Joe Milton III they were saying about Trey Lance, how he's going to take Dak Prescott's spot only for him not to beat out Cooper Rush. Let me tell you something. If you don't think Will Grier can play, you're sadly mistaken. Will Grier can play this game. And don't go only by Joe Milton's physical attributes. So what? You can throw a ball 95 yards. How many times do you have to do that in the game? We're not concerned if you can throw it 95 yards, because if you look at his NFL, I've already done this on a previous video. I'll link it up here either in the description. We already know what Joe Milton is by a scouting report. We know he can make flashy plays. We know he can throw the ball a mile. But the issue is his accuracy. His issue is his ball placement. His issue is so many things that even hampered him in college. There's a reason why he was a one-year starter, contrary to what people try to tell you. And Joe Milton III, 6 years in college. And so Joe Milton, he's got work to do. He don't need to be concerned about competing. I mean, he needs to compete, but he doesn't need to be concerning himself at this point with taking the place of Dak Prescott. He just needs to focus on learning and getting better and being the best quarterback that he can be. And again, the Cowboys have done something else. Just when people were ready to hand over the mantle to Joe Milton III, well, the Cowboys went and got them another big quarterback, big arm, similar build to Joe Milton III. You have to love the way Athlon Sports captioned this. Athlon Sports says, or CowboysCountry.com, written by Mike Fisher, says, the Cowboys signed Dak Prescott, freakish new quarterback backup. Now, I'm gonna do a report on him coming this week. I've kind of read a documentary. Listen, I've watched a documentary on him. Somebody put together that it's excellent. I may actually see about asking him, is it okay to use it on the channel for people to look at? But he did an excellent documentary on one. His name is Donovan Smith, and so he'll be at the rookie training camp. It says here, Fisher writes, it says, after trading for Joe Milton while parting ways with now Chargers reserve Trey Lance, Dallas is excited to have set up a backup competition between Bazooka Joe and journeyman Will Grier. Bazooka Joe, I see you, Fish. Here in the wake of Cooper Rush having signed with the Ravens. It says, but the Cowboys are poised to take a look at another quarterback this weekend, as ESPN was first to note the team will have former Houston quarterback Donovan Smith at this weekend's rookie minicamp here at the Star. Yeah, let me tell you something about this guy, man. When I watched the documentary on him, he was actually projected to be in the first round. They actually projected him to be drafted by the New York Jets. And his draft stock kind of fell, and that's what the documentary was about. And kind of what happened was his draft stock fell. He started having some issues down towards the end of the season, and it really hurt him. And matter of fact, it says some of the numbers aren't there, as last year he played in 9 games while throwing for 4 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Smith does not have some mobility, and that can be Smith does have some mobility, and that can be an asset too. And look at his measurables. 6'6". He's taller and 238 pounds. Not unlike Milton. Smith also runs a 4.63 40 with a 37-inch vertical. Yeah, he's a freak athlete. All rather freakish and fun for us to watch, at least for this weekend. And so again, just when people are handing the backup quarterback position to one Joe Milton, does that mean he's going to be the backup? His contract isn't that big. I mean, even though I believe the Cowboys are going to hold on to him, but again, hey man, we don't know what these undrafted free agents are going to do. We do not know what they are going to do. And some people say, hey, this guy's just the camp guy that's coming in, Donovan Smith. Well, how did we know he's not going to do good in camp? Again, I'm just wondering, with this new thing the Cowboys are trying to do as far as these attitudes and things with the locker room. I mean, it just makes you wonder. I mean, they bring in Donovan Smith. Hey, man, they're letting Joe Milton III know something too. Just because you're bigger than Will Grier, you're going to have to beat Will Grier to be the second backup. And we're bringing in Donovan Smith because we're not just even handing you the third string quarterback position. Man, I love what the Cowboys are doing. And so again, should the Cowboys be worried? I can tell you this, they probably won't be worried. Because if Joe Milton III's attitude becomes a problem, they've already got a quarterback in here, same size or bigger than him, and arm may not be as big, but at the end of the day, again, man, how many times are you throwing the ball 95 yards? A lot of these Super Bowl winners can't throw the ball 95. Heck, they can't even throw a 65. That is not what winning championships and winning games is all about. But again, man, I'm telling you, I just wonder, should the Cowboys be worried? And at the grand scheme of things, I think they have the kind of leadership on this team now, including from some of the rookie class, that, hey, Joe Milton III is going to have to fall in line real fast and understand what it is here. You're going to have to compete, bro. You're going to have to compete. And if you don't win a job and all, whatever the case may be, it don't matter what you think. You play your role. You be patient. And when it's your time to shine, you shine. Other than that, you do everything you do everything you can do to support the starter and the backup if you're the third, or support the starter and the backup behind you and be a great asset in the quarterback room. Man, I'm telling you, I love what the Cowboys are doing. I don't think they should be concerned about one Joe Milton III. But y'all tell me what you think. I'm glad they brought in Donovan Smith. The Dallas Cowboys need to continue this same line of thinking. You put everyone on notice. Everyone on notice. If their number is not 4, if their number is not 11, if their number is not 88, and also Digizul, his number slips from my mind right now. But you put everyone on notice except for those 4. And you create the best competition you can at camp, and let's come out with the best roster the Cowboys can have. Y'all tell me what you think on this story about Joe Milton III. That was very interesting. But again, I love what they're doing. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.